Let us also give respect to the office that we all occupy, that God has called us. And be careful that these things that we say, they have a way of having a ripple effect. You must have to understand that in the midst of all this, God is still God.
Listen to Planet 101.1 FM News at 7 a.m., 12 noon, and 6 p.m. with our news in special English at 2:30 p.m. Mondays to Fridays. Planet Radio 101.1 FM. The whole thing around you.
It's the news at noon. In the news, federal government and Nigerians in Diaspora Commission launch United Kingdom-based foundation for girl-child education. Nigerian Minister of Foreign Affairs Geoffrey Onyeama seeks visa on arrival for Nigerians as G20 meeting holds today. Residents of Uyo, Akwa Ibom State capital, calls on INEC to ensure March 11 gubernatorial and State House of Assembly elections is free and credible. On the foreign scene, India Prime Minister Narendra Modi urges G20 foreign ministers to overcome differences. In sports, Nationwide League One to release 2023 season fixtures on March 13. The details coming up shortly. A very good afternoon and welcome to the news on Planet Radio 101.1 FM. Uyo, I am Raymond Ita. Now, first in our news this afternoon is a report that the federal government and Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, NICOM, have lauded the United Kingdom-based IA Foundation for its contribution to the nation's education sector. The commendation comes ahead of the body's fourth-year Black Tie charity event holding on March 18 in the United Kingdom with the theme Securing the Future. The praise was contained in goodwill messages signed by Vice President Yemi Osibanjo and Chairperson of NICOM, Abike Dabri-Erewa. The Vice President commended the foundation for its efforts in reducing the percentage of girls who are unable to access education due to poverty, insecurity, or poor orientation. Dabiri, on her part, praised the foundation for its consistency over the last 4 years in ensuring children who are out of school are able to access quality education regardless of backgrounds. The NICOM boss appealed to Nigerians at home and abroad to emulate the foundation and be part of the country's transformation. The IA Foundation Charity Ball is a yearly event to intimate well-meaning individuals and corporate organizations of the education deficit and mobilize resources to provide quality education for out-of-school children in Nigeria. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has disclosed that the total assets of the banking industry grew by 14.36 trillion naira, or 24.24%, from 59.24 trillion naira at the end of December 2021 to 73.59 trillion naira in the corresponding period of 2022. The CBN disclosed this in the personal statement made by the Deputy Governor, Financial System Stability Directorate Aisha Ahmad, at the last Monetary Policy Committee meeting. She said key industry aggregates also continued their year-on-year upward trajectory, with total assets rising to 73.59 trillion naira in December 2022. From 59.24 trillion naira in December 2021, while total deposits rose to 45.50 trillion naira from 38.42 trillion naira over the same period. According to her, the financial system had provided significant support for needed domestic economic resilience amid global shocks and remain strong into 2023. In a separate development, as the G20 opened today in New Delhi, India, Nigerian Minister of Foreign Affairs Geoffrey Onyeama has tasked India Prime Minister Narendra Modi with visa on arrival for Nigerians. Onyeama, who was participating in the G20 Foreign Ministers meeting hosted by India between March 1 and 2nd, also urged India to fast-track the issuance of business visa to Nigerians as a reciprocal gesture. The statement, signed by the Special Assistant Media to the Minister, Sarah Sandar, held that the meeting focused on strengthening multilateralism as well as deepening cooperation on food and energy security, sustainable development and counter-narcotics, as well as other global health, humanitarian assistance and disaster relief, gender equality, as well as women empowerment. Now, ahead of the G20 meeting, Minister Onyeama met with the Indian Minister of External Affairs, Jas Nacker, and conveyed President Buhari's appreciation to the Prime Minister of India for the invitation extended to Nigeria to participate in the G20 meeting. While paying tribute to the blossoming bilateral relations between Nigeria and India, Onyeama stressed the need to further strengthen the economic, trade and investment cooperations for the mutual benefit of both countries. Away from that, with the declaration of Senator Bola Tinubu as the President-elect of Nigeria, the Natural Resource Governance Institute, NRGI, says the country's new government must take bold and inclusive steps towards the country's energy transition. The body noted that the current push towards net zero presents a challenge to African countries like Nigeria that rely on dirtier fuels for both export revenue and domestic energy. Although NRGI, in a monthly email update, said the situation in the country presents an opportunity for Nigeria to transition its own energy system, to improve energy access, reduce oil and gas-related pollution, and develop industries to supply this transition, citizens must have better understanding and a greater say in the country's energy transition plan. The NRGI called for seamless collaboration and buy-in to the objectives of the plan from the government institutions, insisting that massive investments in gas would be required to drive its use as a transition fuel and reduce spending on oil as set out in the plan. Back here, residents of Uyo, the Akwa Ibom State capital, have called on the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to ensure that the March 11th gubernatorial and State House of Assembly elections in the state is free, fair and credible. While speaking with Planet News, some of them, while reacting to the just concluded presidential election, alleged that the process was not free and fair as promised by INEC, complaining that the BVAS at some point was not transmitting the results directly. They urged INEC to devise better means to solve the issue before March 11.
The only difficulties I experienced is concerning my own constituency. Some ballot box came very late for the polling unit. So that's why some people voted, some people couldn't vote. There are some polling units that we had a lot of graft in that place. So we need a lot of machines so that I can help people to vote in time. Make sure that you know, become friends in the Eri why no egi fonno. Some be my bombo young mo etemegu kememo. Ena monomi mo jake ni rami. Abanga figu of young me don't me. Young mo na maro. I have nothing against the result, but my prayer is that everybody should be calm because this is Nigeria and we have no other country.
March 11, I call on INEC to still keep on the free and fair elections.
Others, in an interview with our correspondent Isaiah Udo, urged other citizens to accept the outcome of the presidential election and join hands and build the country. They also solicited INEC to ensure the quick arrival of the BVAS, IDEC staff and other electoral materials to the polling unit so as to enable a quick commencement. of the elections.
I want everybody to stand in unity so that we can get a better Nigeria.
Election mo webo ke mani na nga ba e mai tangi no monsegi na ndino bostigi na ndete peke ngwete pero so e mai na election boru kara esna basti gubo ageru nyima basti kana nte tinibu win so iba wuro mo ke bugi menu wongwera basti sio oro kamne do yaro yebo yoke tiero yagudu wa basti bongo wo wurilem oguru wa wo.
So we could call on the general public to sheath their sword. Those who are aggrieved should approach the appropriate quarters, either the court, the tribunal. President-elect Ahmed Tinubu has been announced and declared. It's for everybody to join and support him to move Nigeria forward.
Recall that the just concluded presidential election saw Bola Ahmed Tinubu emerge as the president-elect and was yesterday offered a certificate of return by INEC. In the meantime, a former deputy speaker of the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, Onyeama, has congratulated the president-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu for winning the 2023 presidential election. The APC candidate defeated 17 other candidates who took part in the polls. He scored a total of 8,794,726 votes, the highest of all the candidates, thus meeting the first constitutional requirement to be declared the winner by INEC. In a statement signed by the APC chieftain, Onyeama said the victory of the president-elect Bola Tinubu is not only well-deserved, but a reflection of the wishes of Nigerians, and commended the INEC for a successful completion of the presidential election. Their backbone politician also congratulated all candidates who emerged victorious in the Saturday, February 25, 2023 senatorial and House of Representatives election, stating that now that the first leg of the 2023 election is over, both the winners and losers should see it as a game where one person must win or lose, and all must join hands to move the country forward. He urged the winners to be magnanimous in victory and strive to unite the electorate, especially those who were sharply divided during the campaigns. On the outcome of the Akwa Ibom Northwest Senatorial District, the former Deputy Speaker said while his stand was on what he felt was in the best interest of the Abak Federal constituency, the voices of the people as expressed through the ballots became louder, and as such he respects the decision of the voters on the matter. While congratulating Senator Akwa Ibom on his victory at the polls, Onyeama said he will always support any course of action that will advance the cause and interest of Abak Federal constituency and Akwa Ibom State in general, submitting that even though the outcome of the polls went contrary to expectation, he will continue to appeal, persuade and reach out to relevant stakeholders in future on the need for equal representation in the interest of justice, equity and fairness. He reiterated his determination to always champion and bring out the front burner issues he feels are in the best interest of Akwa Ibom State, and urged all winners not to renege on all the promises they made to the people during the electioneering period. While commending INEC over the conduct of the presidential and National Assembly elections, the former Deputy Speaker urged the Commission to rise up to the occasion and expectation of Nigerians by fixing noticeable lapses in future for the smooth conduct of the polls. You're listening to the News on Planet Radio 101.1 FM Uyo. We'll take a breather and bring you more stories from our foreign, sport and entertainment scenes. Do stay with us.
Healthy living begins with the choices one makes. Choosing to live healthy is the first step to healthy living. Join us Sundays 1:30 to 2 p.m. for Health Way, awareness for healthy choices.
Welcome back and many thanks for staying with us. On the foreign scene, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has urged G20 foreign ministers to overcome their divisions and focus on the needs of the developing world. India wants to use its G20 presidency to raise issues of developing countries known as the Global South, but divisions within the group over the Ukraine war will test Indian diplomacy. Last week, G20 finance ministers failed to reach a consensus on a closing statement at their meeting in Bangalore in the first ministerial meeting in the run-up to the summit later this year. The G20, which includes the world's 19 wealthiest nations plus the European Union, accounts for 85% of global economic output and 2/3 of its population. And now in sport, the fixtures for the 2023 season of the Nationwide League 1, NLO Division 1 and 2 will be released on March 13. Over 153 teams will be part of the 2023 season, with the teams expected to be divided into groups. There will be 3 divisions, NLO 1, 2 and 3 for the participating clubs, with a collection of players' licenses also commencing in the NLO. The NLO 1 is the first division of the league and usually the last stage for teams to qualify for the country's second-tier league, the Nigerian National League NNL. After a regular season and playoff, 4 teams are expected to qualify for the second-tier league. On our entertainment scene, tickets for this year's Eurovision Song Contest in Liverpool will go on sale on March 7. Fans will be able to pay to attend 9 shows, 2 live semi-finals and the grand finale, as well as 6 previews doubling up as dress rehearsals. Prices range from £90 to £290 for the live semi-finals and £160 to £380 for the live grand finale. The cost will be subsidized by the government, but there will be a £20 charge per sale. Well, it's been the news on Planet Radio 101.1 FM Uyo. But just before we go, here's a recap of the major stories. Federal government and Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, NICOM, have lauded the United Kingdom-based IA Foundation for its contribution to the nation's education sector. As the G20 opened today in New Delhi, India, the Nigerian Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyeama, has tasked India Prime Minister Narendra Modi with visa on arrival for Nigerians. Residents of Uyo, the Akwa Ibom State capital, have called on the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to ensure that the March 11th gubernatorial and State House of Assembly elections is free, fair and credible. On the foreign scene, we told you that Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has urged G20 foreign ministers to overcome their divisions and focus on the needs of the developing world. And in sports, the fixtures for the 2023 season of the Nigerian Nationwide League 1 NLO will be released on March 13. For comments and coverage of your newsworthy events, call our newsroom on 0812-770-2940. You can visit our website on planet101fm.ng and follow us on Twitter at planet_101fm. Also like our Facebook page at Planet101FM. Uyo. The news was edited by Jane Uwa. As we end the news, harbor no regret in your heart for standing on the side of what is true, what is just, and what is upright. Thank you so much for listening. I'm Raymond. Good afternoon and a happy new month.